Okay, hello people, paint pouring people. Today I'm going to use up some. I had the Mont pre-made pouring paints that me and Jilly have been doing some pours with, and I've got quite a bit left in my cups. I will, and I'm going to do a reflection pour or a reflection swipe. I'm trying to get like a Northern Lights kind of effect, but having said that, you can bet it will turn out completely different and morph into something else. But I'll just go with it because I want to use these paints up. I don't want to waste them, and I've got such bright colours that if it looks like a reflection over water, that's the plan. It should look pretty nice. So I'm going to I will have a photo of the colours. They're all the Mont pouring paints, so you don't have to do anything to them whatsoever. But I did mix these up with a little bit of the PVA glue and water just to help them flow a little bit more. And I did add 1 drop of silicone in each cup, which does make them come out completely different than when you're using them without anything in. And today I've got my baking tray that I'm putting this recycled card. So I get this card off eBay, and I think this is 750 or 800 GCM. So it's the thicker type, and I like to use it for test pours or pours that I'm going to allow to dry and then put into a frame or even behind a glass. So that's what that's all about. I will have in the drop down box there, I will have how I've mixed these particular paints, so my recipe that I've added to these paints, even though there's no need to add anything. And I'll also have, if you're in Australia, and I do believe there are some other countries that they supply to now, is my online, well it's not mine, is the online art supplier that I get all of my pouring products from. So excellent service and very lovely family run business, so always willing to help family run businesses, absolutely. So start with this nice dusty pink, which I think is called fuchsia. I'd have to double check. I went and put the colours away before because these are just some leftovers in the bottom of the cups, and I thought I'll have to do something with them and not waste them. So I am. Now this is like, it is another pink. I think it was it's just a dark pink. I'll have to relook up the names, but they're all on their Diane and Anthony's site for shabby chic Creole, shabby chic. Oh, I'm hopeless with names. Oh no, these are not the dimensions, Jill. These are the pouring. I've got paints all mixed in the Mont dimensions paints, which I'm going to do next. Doesn't mean to say that I'll release the video before. I'm going to do those next. Okay, I'll really shock you here and go the really bright red. So like to do, if I was doing in acrylic, studio acrylics, I would do much sort of thicker lines. I'm just trying to see how this paint's going to go because I haven't actually done a swipe. I am going to go, even though I'm going to pour a plain colour through the centre because I want it reflection, I do want a little bit of colour under there. So I'll just run this colour out. See how we go. I always like a little bit of colour even under my swipe colour. Don't like it to be a thick line. But having said that, I'm going to try and do it more often, leaving the colour, because I would like to embellish it afterwards with Posca pens which I'll show you my Posca pens, which I think I've done a video on embellishing with the Posca pens before. So it's just putting the embellishment on after your paint's dry. So this is a really lovely bright yellow. So yeah, you need your sunglasses on for this one. Just hoping I don't run out of paint. Maybe I should have cut this card down to half its size. But sometimes these pours turn out so nice on this card, and they're great then inside a picture frame. Like that. Go to this lovely like apple green. I think it is called green light, but very candy colours, very candy. Well, that's how friendly, as he always says hello on the paws, doesn't he? The friendly gecko. My lovely little gecko that's in here someplace. There's my dogs are playing again. They've been outside, haven't they, Jill? And the camera rolls and they think, oh, we're going to go in and be on it. I'll have to run a bit of a video with what they're doing in the background, play fighting. Probably don't need any more colour on this, but I've got another bit of pink left, so that's going in. Yeah, we've had another good day today, been out and about and a bit of shopping, and we had a little drive by the river, which was really nice. The weather's really nice, but there are a lot of really dangerous fush fires.
Don't change it.
Fush fires. What do you call bush fires? Bush fires. So silly. Oh my god! Now I've done a blob. Oh. Jill says don't change it, so this is bad luck to change the words. Oh my goodness. Oh. I don't know if it's age or what that I get, or dyslexia maybe. I'll get the words completely arsed up. Am I? Oh, probably not allowed to say that.
Well, you've said it now.
Said it now. Sorry. Okay. Tipsy-turvy is probably the same thing, isn't it? Tipsy-turvy. Okay, wow. That's it. That is like it's like Blackpool Rock.
That's it.
So that's it. I'll call this my Blackpool Rock. Gonna do what I normally do, and is just do a gentle tilt, just to make sure the canvas is covered and. Wow. Probably wouldn't have been all of the colours that I would have chose to put together, but they're there now.
Yeah, looks good.
So it's just keep tilting till you make sure your canvas is covered. And it's not necessarily if you don't layer as much paint on that you have to tilt off or anything, but I just find I love it when the colours run over each other. And I'm hoping, because this is going to be a reflection, I probably didn't need to put anywhere near this amount of paint on it. I know so many people are getting really stressed out with all the runoff paint that myself and other pourers have, but that's what this is all about. It's fluid art, so you certainly use a lot of paint. So I'm just running the spatula underneath. Is that what you call this, a spatula? Underneath, just to check that we've got it all. So I'm going to I'm using a navy, and I made the navy as well out of the pouring paints. I made it with the blue, black and a blob of green that I would normally do. What are you doing, Jilly? Jilly. She's doing something with her camera here.
I'm taking pictures.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. That's acceptable. So I did want to do a bit thicker line through this than I would normally do, because I want it to look like a reflection. So I've got like a landscape, whatever you would call it. So I'm just going to get I was going to use my Swifty Swipe tool, but I'll see how I go with the piece of the plastic file divider, and see if we can get some kind of nice northerly lights. As I said, may work, it may not. Actually, don't mind it being that dark, because I know those bright colours are going to pop through it. Okay, that's going to be AWOL, my swiping, but that's all right. Don't panic over it. Just go back. It's very light pressure. Don't actually worry too much about these little ones, because I find the cells come up. I will turn this. Well, I don't know about a reflection swipe, but it's kind of coming more like a underwater. Life under the water, or is it a tropical? It's that corner again for whatever reason. I may have a bit of a bow in the card, so it's sort of throwing my swipey tool off. So you've got different. See, these cells are coming up like my cells come up yesterday. They're not coming up defined. And I think it's because, well, yesterday I thought it was because I had an undercoat, but it may be that this paint doesn't react very nicely to Helmar's glue. And the last time I ever added anything to it was the Mont glue PVA, so it might work better. Oh, now I've done a real boo-boo there. And then I dropped too much of my swipe tool in, but I'm not going to worry, because when I torch it, I'm hoping that it'll come through. Well, this is interesting for me because I did a pour yesterday. I'm not sure if you'll see it before this one or after, and what I did is I put I coated the whole canvas in the Mont Studio acrylic. But then I poured over it in the pre-made pouring paints, and it created these cells that were uneven, and I thought it was because I put an undercoat, but as you can see, they're coming up misshaped cells. So I'm thinking it must be the Helmar's glue and water that I added a little bit to each colour that's not working so well. So there you go, Helmar's glue all is not the best to use with this, but I have used the Mont Marte PVA. Okay, just re-centering this. I'm waffling now, and I'm going to use the butane and see what we get. I would have liked nice little cells. Remember, and I do want to keep the blue, dark blue centre. So there's actually two things you can do when leaving the centre. You can use a piece of card to make it look like buildings to go through. That might be a bit too wide. It's like this. Or I've got a hot one there, that's good. I'm just going to try it, may not work, just to make it look like, so there's like landscape buildings, and then I might completely stuff it up, but as you know, do the experiments for you guys to learn by my mistakes, so we will try. But you know what this probably would be good at? Called Candles in the Wind. Because that's sort of looking more candly than building. I have done this pour similar before with the cat that look like candles. So I'm just doing it with this little spatula, trying to wipe it off in between because I don't want it to get too, you know, bring up some mud. Like, it's probably harder to keep control with that than it would be if I used a piece of card. But kind of want to get the effect of buildings. I'll go the other way in a second. We'll do different heights, but because I'm getting this, I'm dragging this, it looks more like candles. So this will be the Candles in the Wind, dedicated to Marilyn Monroe, one of my favourites. Not that I was an age that remembers her, but it was, yeah, she's just an icon, isn't she? Okay, just trying to do these. Like I said, it's, you know, lots of people have done these pours before and call them all sorts of names. But because I've got the shape I have, I think it definitely is candles, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Candles in the wind. Mm-hmm. So that's that wispy bit there, you know, that's really meant to be. Not. Gonna. Sorry, gonna have me. Still having me coughing fits every now and again. Don't know if it's my thing. I'm not really. It's not really floating my boat. It's not really exciting, but I know that when there's something I don't particularly like, I get so many comments so many people that do like it. So probably what I would do after that's dry is put the line back through there of the blue, which you can almost do so it defines to look like a reflection. Mm-hmm. More so when it's dried. But it's a bit of a weird one, but I'm sure somebody will like it. So I'm going to give you a close-up of it. I'll put some photos on at the end of the put some photos up at the end of the video. Yeah, I could have done a better job with that. I could have done a better job, but I tried. So I'm going to call this my Candles in the Wind. And it has been very windy here, hasn't it? Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it and you maybe have learnt something from me, even if it's a mistake. But you've learnt something. I want to thank you so much for subscribing. You are fantastic and you've left me some beautiful, wonderful comments, and I'm so appreciate all and each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and don't miss out on the fun. Until next time, I'll just put some photos on at the end of the video if you'd like to see the drier results of this, and I'll leave it there. Okay, thank you.